All right, all right.
All right.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.
All right, first and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honors to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that rule well. And peace and bliss to the hopeful elect.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're good.
We're good.
Come. All right. As you can see from the title through the Holy Spirit, we're gonna wake up our Native American brothers, which are Israelites. Okay, of the tribe of Gad, and it also includes the so-called Seminole Indians, which are the tribe of Reuben. Okay, and this is a truth. Okay, that's been hidden for so long by Esau, the so-called white man, for for centuries. Okay, it's a known. It should be a known fact. Okay, who our people are, but according to prophecy, okay, our people have been deceived, bamboozled, and lied to about their identity. Okay, especially the Native American Indians. Okay, you have this lie going around that they came over the Bering Land Strait. Okay, that stretched from so-called Russia over into Alaska. From the Asian continent to the North American continent, and then that's how they populated the Americas. Well, that's a lie. Okay, all right, because when you go into the scriptures in the Bible, it talks about a people that came from the east to the west. All right, okay, in search of a new place to serve their laws that they didn't keep in their own land, and that goes into the 10 tribes, okay, of the northern kingdom of Israel that came over to the Americas, because no person dwelt in these lands. All right, but before I get into that, through the Spirit, if I get into that, I want to go into the prophecy that our forefather Jacob spoke about the tribe of Gad. Okay, so can we get Genesis 49? It should be around the like 72 verse. One verse
19.
19.
This is Genesis 49 and 19. It says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Right. Okay. Now this is a prophecy. Matter of fact, Baba Bashar, go up to 49 and 1.
Okay, this is Genesis 49 and 1. It says, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Right. So our forefather Jacob prophesied what was going to happen to his sons in the last days. So this time period wasn't talking about the history, of the present time that was then right there in Genesis, okay, before Jacob died, but what was going to happen in the last days, which the last days started and began when Yahweh Shai was born, and then came on the scene after 30 years old to preach his ministry and raise up his disciples into apostles. Okay, so the last days that started then, that's why Yahweh Shai said in Matthew, these be the days of vengeance. Okay, because these are the days when the Heavenly Father is going to end the rulership of the Gentiles. So as his rulership starts and ends and remanifests, there was going to be things that were going to happen in these times that was going to happen to the Israelites. All right, but we're focusing on what was going to happen to the tribe of Gad. Okay? All right, now, so read that again in verse 19.
This is Genesis 49 and 19. It says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Right. So, in the last days, a troop was going to overcome the tribe of Gad. Okay? But he is to overcome at the last. And why would he overcome at the last? Because he's an Israelite. All right? Now go from there to Numbers 24, I believe around 11 or 12. Okay, because the scripture says that Israel is going to do valiantly. Okay, so we're talking about a people, okay, that was going to be overcome by an army and military troop, but they're also prophesied to not just be overcome, but to also overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Um, this is Numbers 20. I think it's 14. 24 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
And now behold, I go unto my people. Come, therefore, I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days.
Right. So this is uh the story of Balak and Balaam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when he I believe that was Balaam speaking,
Mm-hmm.
the prophet,
Mm-hmm.
the Midianite Ishmaelite prophet,
Mm-hmm.
because Balak was the king of Moab, and he sent Balaam to curse Israel,
Mm-hmm.
but the spirit was upon this heathen, even this heathen, to prophesy what Israel was going to do to all the Gentiles, all the heathen in the latter times or the last days.
Kind.
Okay, so go ahead.
It says, and he took up this parable and said, Balaam, the son of
Beor.
Beor, had said, and the man whose eyes are open had said,
Mm-hmm.
he had said, which heard the words of the Most High and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty fallen unto a trance, but having his eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not now.
Right. So this is basically going to the fact that Yahweh Shah is going to return. Like it says in Revelation, the 1st chapter, all eyes shall see him.
That's right.
Okay? Go ahead.
It says, there shall come a star out of Jacob.
Let's start. We were just reading about Jacob in Genesis 49.
Kind.
Okay? And what his sons were going to do in the last days.
Kind.
Go ahead.
And a scepter
Scepter.
shall rise out of Israel and shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy all the children of Seth.
Right. Because Yahweh Shah is going to destroy all these nations. Moab, Ammon, Ham, Ishmael, Edom. Okay? And he's going to rule over all the nations along with the nation of Israel ruling alongside him.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It says, and Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession.
That's you so-called white people. Go ahead.
For his enemies. And Israel shall do valiantly. Valiantly.
Right. Israel shall do valiantly. Because in the latter days of the last days, the Israelites are going to be raised back up. That's what was prophesied in Genesis 49 about the tribe of Gad. Though he be overcome, he shall overcome in the last. Okay? Now, let's go to 1 Kings,
Okay.
17th chapter.
Okay.
And let's start at verse 22.
Okay. This is 1 Kings.
Because if you know the history of the Israelites, the kingdom of Israel was split into two. You had the southern kingdom, which consisted of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, 3 tribes. Okay? All right? And then you had really 2 tribes, because according to the count, you didn't count Levi because they joined to the Lord. Okay? But then in the northern kingdom, you had from the tribe of Ephraim all the way to the tribe of Dan and Issachar. All right? Those were part of the northern kingdom, also including the tribe of Gad. Okay? You got that?
Yeah, come.
Okay, come, go ahead.
So this
is what happened to the northern kingdom in history. Go ahead.
This is 1 Kings 17 and 22.
Let me see. Let's see. Second Kings.
2 Kings.
Okay. Because basically, the northern kingdom tribes were carried away into Assyria. Okay, so they were overcome. The whole northern kingdom was overcome, but that's really going into what happened on this side of the world. Okay, so this is the history of the Native American Indians going back to the Middle East. All right, and I got an article, all right, of history that goes back to the fact that they knew that they came from the East. Okay, but once you get that, read that, Baba Kushal.
Okay, this is 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 22.
Yeah, might start
A little bit more. Okay, verse 20.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, 21. It says, "For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king."
And
And
the northern kingdom, which was known as the kingdom of Israel, was taken from David's family, starting with Rehoboam after King Solomon died. Okay, so there were the southern kingdom, like I mentioned, and the northern kingdom. They were split into two. Okay, so where you once had a united monarchy in Israel, now you had a dual monarchy in two different regions of Israel. Okay, go ahead.
It says, and he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king, and Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin.
Right, so the northern kingdom was sinning. Okay, they were breaking the commandments of the Lord. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of the sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Syria unto this day.
Right, so they were carried away carried away from the land of Israel into Assyria, and this was when they were overcome. Okay, the whole 10 tribes at one point. Okay, that's just one point in history. Okay, that was the beginning of these nations coming against Israel. That's what I'm saying. All right, go ahead.
It says, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cuthon.
Okay, that was
the point. Okay,
that was the point.
Okay,
so
that was the beginning of it.
Right, so that's what happened. The Syrians carried away the northern kingdom into their land. All right, now you got the apocrypha, Baba Kushai. You want to get 2nd Ezra 13 chapter and start at verse 40. All right, and these are scriptures that brothers know. Okay, but I got to go into the history of what happened with Israel, so you can get into the Native Americans. Okay, because like I said, they are a part of the tribes.
2nd Ezra.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
What chapter? What you call
13 and 40.
Okay, this is 2nd Ezra 13 and verse 40. It says, "Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea, and the king whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria,
right, which is the history that we just read in 2 Kings 17th chapter. So now this is the history after that point. Okay, go ahead.
It says, the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them away over the waters, and so came they into another land. See?
Right, so then they came into another land. Okay, so the 10 tribes came into a whole nother land out of Assyria. Okay, Go ahead.
It says, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
Right, because when you go to the Middle East,
Mhm.
when you look at a modern day map or an ancient map, okay, or a map of the old world,
Mhm.
right, it goes into you see that all the nations in the world dwelt in the old world, the old region, whether it be the Mediterranean, the Middle East,
Mhm.
Northeast Africa, going all the way to Asia. That's where the majority of peoples are located.
Mhm.
Okay, the majority of the populace.
Mhm.
All right. So they said that they would leave where the heathen are. Because outside of Israel, they wasn't in Israel. So who were they surrounded by? By the heathen, by the natural Gentiles.
That's right.
So they said they wanted to leave them all together.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
So they were going to a place where nobody dwelt. So if you understand history, and you understand, and it's something that you learn in these schools here in America and around the world, you know that nobody was dwelling on this side of the world. Okay, it was known as the New World. It's why these so-called Europeans, these Edomites came over here. There was no established civilization over here outside of the Native Americans that were already over here. Hence why they're being called Native Americans, because they were already here. But how did they get there? And like I said, when I open this up, it's not talking about the barren land strait. Okay? There was no whole ice age and freezing of the earth and all of that. That's Esau's pseudoscience and lies that he's made up. Okay? So when you go into this history that the brother just read in the scriptures, it said that the 10 tribes came to a land where never mankind dwelt. Okay? Now how did they know to go to a place where nobody dwelt? Or what place in the world did Israel have a history and a knowledge on, okay, outside of that region of the world where nobody was living in?
Right.
Okay? All right?
Yeah.
So this is why you have to understand the history of Israel, the history of the people. This is history, which is a very important and potent part of the ministry and its truth and how you understand things. Okay? Now go from now hold that, because I know you're in the pocket, right? Go to what's this? First Kings. Okay, First Kings, and basically it's the point where see if I can pull it up real quick, because it goes basically, like I said, this is history that brothers know, but
yeah, it ain't 8 and 41, is it?
I get it. First Kings. Wait, let me see. Because basically King Solomon, oh yeah, he had the navy. Okay. Yep, First Kings 10. First Kings 10 and I want to start First Kings 10. 10 to 21.
Okay, this is 1 Kings 10 and 21. It says, and all King Solomon drinking vessels were of gold, and all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. None were of silver.
Go ahead.
And it was nothing accounted of in the days of Solomon, for the king had at sea a navy of let's see, I pronounce that.
Was it Tarshish?
Tarshish. Navy of Tarshish with the navy of Hiram.
Yeah, Hiram. Which
Hiram.
Which, you know, the Freemasons going to Hiram Abiff. and they get their certain understandings and things from King Solomon, because that's basically who King Solomon had hired after, really, because they're really subjects to King Solomon, tributaries. Those Canaanites and those Phoenicians were underneath the rule of Israel at the time under King Solomon. So he used their navy to get gold and silver and certain things from around the world, because if you know anything about the Phoenicians, they were known as great a great seafaring people. Okay. All right.
It says once in 3 years.
Once in 3 years. So 3 years is 36 months. Okay. Half of that would be what? 18 months, which is what, a year and a half. Okay. So every once in 3 years, they would do what?
It says once in 3 years, the navy of Tarshish bringing gold and silver, ivory, and apes.
Go ahead.
And peacocks. So King David exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom.
Right. I'm gonna show you now. It said that they brought back apes and gold, silver, apes and peacocks. Now, if you know where peacocks come from, peacocks are native to the Indian subcontinent. Okay? Look it up. They're native to the Indian subcontinent. Okay? A lot of these peacocks come from there. So when you look at a map of the Middle East, okay, as they were traveling, they would go into it's where you get the Silk Road. They would go from China into the Indian subcontinent, India, where Elam is at, and then they travel all the way through the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Mesopotamia, on into the Israel, on into the coast of Tyre and Zidon, and out through the Mediterranean to Europe. Okay? Which is why today you have something called the New Silk Road. All right? But when you go into peacocks, okay, you could go through certain lands, certain places that the navies and different peoples knew where to go to get certain spices and certain things to bring back to King Solomon. But on that journey, okay, they also brought back apes. Now, when you go into apes are native. Yeah, a lot of apes in Asia. Okay, but you also have a lot of apes or monkeys in Africa. And you also have a lot of apes over here in America, which is, if you look it up, you got the New World apes or New World monkeys. Okay, the Capuchin apes. Okay, all right. Even gorillas were found in Central Africa, around the late 1800s, early 1900s. Okay, and other animals. But we know that over here in America, Central and South America, we have the Amazon jungle, which over here you find a lot of the Olmec heads. Okay, all right. When these people Hiram, which was Adonius, would come over here, and they would have to stay for a while. Remember, this is what, 3 years? Once in 3 years, so every year. So that would be a 1.5 year journey there and a 1.5 year journey back, and then for however long they stayed there. Okay, all right. But there was no like main civilization set up there, but you can find relics. Okay. Matter of fact, there's that book that's called "They Came Before Columbus." Okay. So you had the Olmec heads and the people that were there, right? But they would get certain apes, and so basically on that journey they would get exotic animals. Okay. All right. We know how much Israel loves exotic animals. Michael Jackson. Right. They just recently had his the anniversary of his death the other day, earlier this week. And he was known for having exotic animals, monkeys and giraffes and lions. That's in our spirit. And so the same thing was in the spirit of King Solomon. And it was these Phoenicians, these people that knew to go around the world in certain places and certain areas of the earth to get certain types of things that King Solomon wanted, gold, silver, and animals. Okay? So this history is there. Okay? Was there any more on that?
finish it out. It says.
Oh, read again from the top.
It's verse 22. It says, "For the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Hiram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold and silver, ivory and apes and peacocks. So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom." And it says, it says,
right. That's it.
That was the point.
Yeah, that was the point. So now let's go back to the Apocrypha.
Okay, come.
Okay, and let's go back to Exodus 13 or around like 41, 42.
Come.
Okay, because remember the Northern Kingdom, they had to get away from the heathen. So what was a place? So they had to know of a history and a place to get away from the heathen. A getaway. Okay, go ahead.
The second Ezra 13 and 41, it says, "But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country."
A further country. Where there was people all around the Middle East. There was people in Africa. Go ahead.
"Where never mankind dwelt."
So the only place that was left in the earth is the uttermost part of the earth, which was all the way over here in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, go ahead.
It says that they might there keep their statues, which they never kept in their own land, and they enter into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river.
So the Euphrates River, which was, like I said, there was already, if you go on the Euphrates River, you're pretty much going to have to follow that current out to the Persian Gulf. Okay? Get an ancient map. All right? Ancient map and a modern day map. Compare the two. Okay? Assyria is northwestern above Israel. Okay? Syria, that's where Damascus is located. Tyre and Zidon is located in that region. That's where the Northern Kingdom was taken to. So if they went to the Euphrates River, they would go follow that current to the Persian Gulf and would go all the way to the Indian Ocean, and they would follow them currents. If you look at a current map as well, the current maps flow around Africa, all the way around the Horn of Southern Africa. Okay? So they would follow that. And that's how they would get to this side of the world. All right? Go ahead.
It says, "For the Most High then showed signs for them."
Show signs because they could follow the currents, certain things of, the wind, the land. All right?
It says,
chariots. Go ahead.
It says, "And they held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there were a great way to go, namely of a year and a half."
So you add a year and a half, and another year and a half, you get what, 3 years?
3 years.
So the way that they knew, how could they take this counsel among themselves to go into another land? Because what kingdom did they just come out of? They were only what, one because he had Jeroboam and Rehoboam in the northern and southern kingdom. Before that, it was King Solomon reigning.
Right.
So they knew the history. So they knew the certain histories and understandings and wisdom and knowledge to where King Solomon had a navy and army that would come back and forth from another land. Let us go to the same place. Okay? So that's what they did. They took the counsel, they went to the same place they knew the history to go to from King Solomon's navy. Okay? Through Hiram. So they came to this side of the world. Okay? Also known as the New World. To keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. And it's a known fact that even when Esau came over here to this side of the world, Columbus and the rest of them, first of all, Columbus brought a Hebrew interpreter, which was he knew the Hebrew because he knew that he was matter of fact the Bishop Atazaman, he put that image, he sent out the brothers an image that what was the image? It was basically like a political cartoon. And it basically had talked about how, like a comic, and it basically talked about how, when Columbus came over here, about like the different languages that the natives spoke. And they said, well, do they speak Hebrew? Okay. So they knew. And it's also in the movie, which you can find on YouTube. You can rent it for like $3, I think. $14.92.
Con.
Okay, right? And you got the image out. Con. All right, it should be focused. All right, and that's the image there.
Con.
Okay. So they knew that they had Hebrews over here. Okay. All right. So they had come, they come over here to keep their commandments. All right. And not just Gad, but you had the tribe of Issachar, the tribe of Ephraim, namely, which led them over here. All right. So they knew the history. Okay. Do me a favor, right? Can you give me Deuteronomy 33?
Okay, good.
Deuteronomy 33, and where it goes into Gad. Okay.
If you don't mind, priest, I got a quick precept for you.
Yeah, come.
All right, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Right, and that was the history, because once the tribes were already established over here, and Esau, the so-called white man, came over here, that was the prophecy of them coming over here. You can watch the movie Apocalypto. Okay, when you get to the end of the movie, it shows the ships. Okay, because you had this guy, Jaguar Paw. Jaguar Paw was prophesied to bring about the end of this society.
God.
And then they was chasing Jaguar Paw through the jungle. Okay, I believe that was the Mayan Empire at that time in that movie, which was directed by Mel Gibson, by the way. Okay, all right. He goes into a lot of them historical movies, Braveheart. All right, Apocalypto.
Passion of Christ.
Okay, yep, Passion of the Christ. Okay, and at the end of the movie, it showed the ships of the Europeans coming over here.
Yep.
That's what the brother just read. A nation of fierce countenance shall come from far, which a language that thou know is not. Because Columbus and them was bringing, the conquistadors was bringing, like I said, he brought Hebrew interpreters over here. They didn't understand English or Spanish. Okay, it was mainly Spanish. Okay, they didn't understand that. All right, because they spoke Hebrew. Okay, you got that in Deuteronomy 33.
This is Deuteronomy 33 and 20. And of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion and teareth the arm of the crown of the head.
Right, because Gad was mighty warriors. Okay? Gad well, matter of fact, there's an account when it talks about Gad. It said they had faces painted like lions, man. Okay? That's in the scriptures. I believe it's in either 1st or 2nd Chronicles. Okay? All right? And they were mighty warriors. All right?
That's right.
So they tear the crown of their head. All right? Go ahead.
It says, and tear the arm with the crown of the head, and he provided the first part for himself.
Right, which Gad got a major portion of this land over here. Go ahead.
Because there in a portion of the lawgiver.
Because like that's what the scripture said in 2nd Ezra. They came over here to practice the law, statutes, and commandments. And you can clearly see in the Native American Indians, okay, that they have major Israelite customs. Esau said that when he came. I'm gonna read a particular point from this article that I got. All right, that I got from brothers in the camp. That these Europeans, when they came over here, they clearly compared the two of the Native Americans and the Israelites, and that they were the same people because they shared the same customs. Okay, go ahead.
It says, because there in a portion of, so I'm gonna 20 back in Deuteronomy 33 and 21, it says, and he provided the first part for himself, because there in a portion of the lawgiver was he seated, and he came with the heads of the people. He executed the justice of the Lord power and his judgment with Israel.
Right, and the Native Americans are they're warriors. They're naturally warriors, but they're also a spiritual people.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, they kept the name of the Lord. You know, prayed to Yahweh, chanted to Yahweh. Okay, they understood the spirits. Okay, how the spiritual world worked. Okay, that everything was given to us as a gift to protect and share. Okay, all right. But at the same time, they were warriors too.
That's right.
Okay, and that's heavy amongst the different tribes of the Native Americans: the Sioux, the Chippewa, the Choctaw. Okay, all right, the Cherokee. All right. Okay, and they kept a lot of the laws up until the time when Esau came over here and you know, changed their ways. But that's why the scripture says the truth shall overcome them. All right. Now, when you go into the history, which I'm gonna bring this point out, and you can go back to 2nd Edges 13 if you got something.
Okay, yeah, I bring a quick one out right quick. This is on Lamentation 3 and 40. It says, let us try. It says, let us search and try our ways and turn again to the Lord power. Let us lift up our heart with our hands unto the Most High in the heavens. And it's gonna come a point to where Gad is going to say, you know what? Let's get back to what we used to do, which was serving Yahweh by Shema Shai, getting back to how we was reading what Gad want to go back to a far country and worship Yahweh by Shema Shai, when no man never do it. It's gonna get to that point again. Okay,
that's right.
You know, Judah waking up first, but Gad gonna wake up too. You know,
and if I could say too, like Tazai one mentioned about Gad being a warrior tribe. You notice every tribe that's a valiant tribe, they always they push them into a remote area. Like you got the Reubenites, they push them into a remote area, into reservations. You got the Gadites, they push them into remote areas and reservations. Then you got what? You got the tribe of Manasseh. Well, really, a lot of Cubans can't even get American citizenship.
Right.
And then you can't even really you can't travel to Cuba. You can't vacation over there. So all of those tribes that can rise up and battle and go at Esau with that sword, he you know, he cut them off. You know, because he understands that. But guess what? The prophecy say that the truth shall overcome at the end. That's why we crying out and screaming out to that tribe. You know, the priest and the other priests, both of the priests, you know, they sending out a cry in the spirit towards the tribe of Gad. You know, to wake up.
You know,
that's right.
The Native Seminole Indians, really the Northern Kingdom as a whole.
Right.
Because Trump about to come down on y'all, man.
That's right. It's about to come down on the Mexicans, so-called Mexicans, which are the tribe of Issachar. You know, that's why this whole border thing, you know, is, you know, tension building up.
And they trying to get Zebulon up in there too.
Yep.
They're trying to bring you Zebulons up from Guatemala and Panama.
Costa Rica, Panama. Okay. All right, because guess what? Jacob's trouble's coming.
Yep.
All right. This is why you Native Americans, you Mexicans, you Seminole Indians, you Costa Ricans, you Panamanians. Okay. All
yeah,
right?
because Jacob's trouble is not just for the Southern Kingdom.
Right. It's
Jacob's trouble don't just pertain to, you know, the niggas in the hood. That's also pertaining to you people that's in the border. These border towns, man, gonna get jacked up, bro.
Oh yeah.
These places like Brownsville, Texas, the what's that, Rio de Janeiro, that whole area up in there, El Paso, Texas.
Yeah.
You know,
Cypress, Texas.
Yes, what you say, bro? Cypress,
Texas.
Yeah. Was that San Diego,
San Diego,
yeah. California. These are all
yeah.
border cities. Certain cities in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they already done deployed like 15,000 what I'm looking for? Coast. I think it's not Coast Guard, but National Guard.
Yeah,
National Guard.
Yeah, is it 50,000 like 1,500? He sent them down there to the border like last week, a couple of days ago.
It was either 15,000 or 1,500. It was one of the other.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of men.
He said that number earlier this year too. You know, he said that.
He said some more too.
He just said, you know, sent these. Yeah.
Yep, and that's just within the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how much more as this election? Trump wants to get things done. He wants to stay in office.
Right.
So he has to make it look like he's accomplishing something.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is just real quick. This is under the American Indian Wars because we're speaking about a truth shall overcome. Now this is when that really took place. Like I said, it began in the history of Israel being overcome and taken into captivity, but it came to a head with Esau here on this side of the world in America. It says the American Indian Wars, or the First Nations Wars, is a collective name for the various armed conflicts that were fought by European governments and colonists, and later by the United States and Canadian governments and American and Canadian settlers against various American Indian and First Nation tribes. So you had the French, the Spanish, the British, all these Edomite nations were against the tribe of Gad and the tribe of Reuben, man.
Yep.
Okay? That's should tell you something right there, man. Who's your enemy? Right now, the brother read, the bishop read that a nation of fierce countenance shall come against thee in the book of Deuteronomy. Okay? No other nation has got hit like that except for Israel, man. And it happened to you Native Americans. Okay? So this is further proof of you should be acknowledging who you are. Okay? And your history. From Israel being an Israelite until now. And what happened? Now it says, these conflicts occurred in North America from the time of the earliest colonial settlements in the 17th century until the 1920s. So that's what, 1700s, 1800s, which is, because the 17th century is what, the 1600s? All right, yeah, the 18th century, which is 1700s. Yeah, the 19, that's 400 years. Who identifies with 400 years of oppression? Is it the Chinese man? Okay. Is it the Muslim, the Ishmaelite man? Okay, the Arab man? No. The only other people that identify with 400 years of oppression from the so-called white man is the so-called black African Americans. Because we're the same people. Okay? This is why you should wait. We're all the same. We all get the same oppression. Okay? All right? Okay? We are all oppressed as this one nation underneath this devil, Esau. Okay? You need to wake up to who you are. And how many times did Jake, Southern Kingdom, Black, say, well, I got Indian mixed in me? A lot of you do. Okay? A lot of our people have mingled amongst the tribes. Because we are the tribes. There's a history that runaway slaves would go to the Native Americans. Okay? Even the tribe of Reuben, the Seminole Indians, Seminole means runaway.
Yep.
Because they were escaping, because they come from the creek. And they were escaping the persecution of Esau. Okay? All right? So there's a bond that the Native Americans, Seminole Indians, the so-called African Americans, West Indians, Haitians share amongst each other. The Hispanics, we all share a common heritage, a common history, common persecution and oppression. Okay? Because we're all the same. And this is what Esau doesn't want you to do. This is why they push that African back to Africa bullshit. Because like the scripture says, Psalms 2, Psalms 83:2, but Psalms 2, where it says they want to split the bands. They don't want us to band together. They don't want us to unify. Okay? All right? But now that we got this truth in the knowledge of the scripture, Psalms 133, how beautiful it is, for the brethren to dwell together in unity. When the 12 tribes, the 12,000 on each tribe, they're elect. All right? And even the brothers you're seeing now coming together in these camps, come together. Esau can't stop this truth.
God.
Okay? Brothers put out the article, a couple videos. I did a video on it. How the fact that the white man is terrified of the Hebrew Israelite movement. Okay? Because this is our people standing back up, man.
They more terrified.
You know
Yeah, you're right. They're more terrified than the Hebrew Israelites, than the jihadists. Than the actual somebody that poses a physical threat.
Right.
Because we don't pose a physical threat.
Right.
The threat that we pose is spiritual. We basically we got these Edomites trembling in their own households, man. When they go to bed, they can act on social media. They can leave their comments under our videos deflecting like a motherfucker.
Right.
But when they lay down in that bed at night and meditate on what we saying, it's messing with their spirit. When they read the book of Obadiah, when they find out they Edomites and they open up the book of Obadiah and finally read it,
but they evil. The cliffs of the caves.
They hurt.
Yep.
So the brothers are calling out to the Gadites like, "Hey man, we winning.
Come on, that's right. We winning.
We winning. Y'all gotta wake up. Y'all gotta get in there, man.
Come get some of this. Hey man, y'all gotta be like Benjamin. I was gonna say Benjamin shall divide the spoils. Y'all gotta be, y'all Native Americans, y'all come divide the spoils with your brothers, man.
Right.
Okay, and get this truth. All right. Now I'm gonna read some more of this. It is about the American Indian Wars. It says the various Indian wars resulted from a wide variety of factors, including cultural clashes, land disputes, because Esau was stealing the land. Okay? But he wants to put a pipeline through Dakota, North to South Dakota, and run that oil pipeline through so he can get more money and further oppress you Native Americans on the reservations. Meanwhile, here it is, you're getting shot down by the cops just as much as African American is, so-called African American.
They act like they don't even exist.
And the media don't put your reports on the news like that, because they don't want the tribes to make a connection.
Nope.
They don't want you to come together. Okay. The last major story that came out in the mainstream media about the persecution of Northern Kingdom was that the guy in New York, the young boy, right? It was basically the Ephraimite. I forget where it's Salakia. I forget his name. Junior. I believe his name was Junior. He got stabbed up by the other gang.
Oh, you talking about
Guzman.
Up in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
His name was like Alejandro Guzman or something like that.
Yeah, and basically they push, like if we kill each other, they'll push it out. Oh, this was so sad, right? They'll push that out. But when it comes down to what Esau does to us, the white man does to us, it doesn't get pushed like that. Especially to the Spanish and Native American Indians. Okay?
Hey,
but guess what? We still all one.
That's right. Hey, I got just something real quick. This is a quick article. It says the 2020 census is coming. Will Native Americans be counted? So it's been in the news like the past a month that they considering not even counting you Native Americans as a part of the population in America. Hey, what kind of shit is that, man?
And what is well, that's why the scriptures I talks about the hidden ones. They take whether it's Psalms 83, they take counsel against the hidden ones. Okay, because people don't know about the our history is hidden from us, and then they try to hide our identity and they want to, keep our people low, man.
They diminish.
But this truth, we got this truth, we got this Bible. Okay, we got this Bible. All right. And one of the other brothers I brought the information out too in the camp that our people, okay, the Native Americans over here, Esau came with the book that was once theirs. So this proves that this book, this Bible,
Right.
was really our book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they brought the religion of Christianity, which was something that the tribes over here didn't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't understand the white savior and all of that. Okay? It was an account by one of the chiefs where he said, before he died, he asked, I believe a Christian friar, you know, because these Edomites will burn Jacob at the stake, and then it had the nerve to have a Christian friar right there.
Yeah.
You know, so he asked him, he said, are the Christians going to be in heaven? And he was like, yeah. You know, the friar told him, yeah. So he's like, well, I'd rather go to hell, man. You know?
Man.
So basically, man, the Native Americans wasn't messing with that Christianity. They had to destroy us, beat us, kill us, persecute us to get our people in that in this false portrayal of the Holy Scriptures.
And the only thing they want to do is present you to the world as just power, as just dancers, powwow.
Yeah.
You know, every time they
Fried
mention a
bread.
Native American, it's always this sad flute music. You know, the genocide. Like, man, they don't necessarily give y'all any type of exploitation.
Right.
You know, they have you selling out with these casinos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they don't really try to get you to tap into your potential, man.
No.
So you got to come back to the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Shai is calling out to 12,000 plus Gadites, man.
That's right. And Reubenites.
That's right.
Seminole Indians.
Mhm.
Okay? Like I said, the Northern Kingdom as a whole, you know, I'm just highlighting the tribe of Gad.
Right.
But because, man, y'all are the warriors, man.
That's right.
Y'all should be in the spirit heavy, man. Okay? From the southeast, you got a lot of Cherokee out here still.
Man, you go up in the
a lot of Creek out
South
here.
Dakota.
Yeah.
Man, they all up through there, bro.
Right, man, the Lakota.
Yep.
Okay,
Sioux.
the Choctaw.
Yep.
Okay, out towards the Midwest, all the Sioux. Okay, y'all tribes should be waking up to who you are, man. Your history is in the Bible. Okay, now I'm gonna finish this off here. So I can get back to this point. Matter of fact, right now this is under what happened with the American Indian Wars. It says the European powers and their colonies also enlisted Indian tribes to help them conduct warfare against each other's colonial settlements. So a lot of that, Jake, you know how Jake had beef. How people beef with each other, black on black crime or brown on brown crimes. You know, so they would instigate that and have them help out their colonial exploits. Okay? But now this is the result of the American Indian Wars. It says sovereignty of various combatants extended or lost. You lost your land, you lost your heritage. It says many treaties, truces, and armistices made and broken by combatants because of these Britons, these Britons, these Spanish, these French. That says Indian reservations established in the United States and Canada. So that's the truth overcoming you.
Right.
Okay? You were you fought the good fight, the physical war back then, but you lost.
Right.
But that's according to prophecy. But guess what? Now we're in a time of you overcoming at the last. Okay? You got anything out?
I will make a point in the book that you have the Black Indian. The Black Indian book is a part in here where it talks about Jake revving up against Esau, and Esau would pay Jake off, basically, you know, letting him know, well, look, if you do this for me, then I can promise your family this and that, you know, to go out and go against your own people, you know. So basically, you know, the same thing, you know, how Esau would use Jake or whatever, you know, because Esau just couldn't do it, you know, by himself, but which all was still, you know, prophecy or whatever, you know, because Gad ain't gonna overcome to the end, you know. So, but yeah, Esau have this stuff recorded, you know, it's in the Bible and it's in these different books that history. that Esau has.
Yeah. Now let's get Deuteronomy 28:68.
Con. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way thereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right. Now that's a classic scripture that we read for mainly the so-called African Americans coming from West Africa over here to this side of the world. But you got to remember, it was the Atlantic slave trade.
Right.
So slaves were being traded not just from one side of the world to the other, but from the other side of the world to the other side of the world. Okay? Because a lot of our people like to call the Native Americans Mongoloids, and they come from Moab and Ammon and all of that. Well, I'm going to go into this book. I did a video on this before, but I'm going to go into this book, The Black Indians, which this book was by William Loring Katz. Okay? And it says hidden heritage. Because you got a lot, like I said earlier, a lot of our people, okay, Southern Kingdom are mingled amongst the Northern Kingdom, and then of course another kingdom means, our people, these are the same people.
Good.
Okay? Don't get it confused. We're all Israelites.
Good.
All right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this page, okay? I believe it's page 26. All right? Yep, page 26. And this is under, it began with Columbus. Okay? Now it says, the Christopher Columbus, whose unique seamanship and courage had opened the Americas to European penetration, also began the transatlantic slave trade. Okay? You know this history. All right? For all you Black History Month buffs, right? You go there every month. But did you know this about the transatlantic slave trade? It says he started by shipping 10 changed Arawak men and women to Seville, Spain. The Arawak, that goes into Hispaniola. Okay? That's where you find the people of the Dominican Republic, the island before it was known as the DR, which is ironic now. A lot of you Jakes are going down and getting killed. And lost and never found.
Right.
Right? But before it was known as the DR, it was known as Hispaniola. You had the Arawak Indians dwelling there, which they were, a lot of them were tribe of Simeon, and then some of them were even part of the tribe of Ephraim, tribe of Manasseh. Okay? It says, he wrote enthusiastically to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella about the business possibilities. Remember what the brother just read? You shall be sold. To be sold means somebody doing business, baby. Somebody making some dough. Somebody making some money. Okay? So it says, from here, in the name of the Blessed Trinity, we can send all the slaves that can be sold. You just read that in Deuteronomy 28:68.
Yep.
That verse is deep.
Con.
Can't just hit the surface with that, man. It says, when he loaded 100 Taino men and women aboard 4 Spanish ships.
Woo!
Ships.
Con.
Plural.
Ships.
Plural.
Right?
Con.
So you got sold and you got ships. Okay? Right? Then we just read sold and shit. Read Deuteronomy 28:68 one more time.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way thereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and thou shalt be sold unto your enemies.
Sold to your enemies. Go ahead.
For bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right. Let's talk about no person of your own nation is going to redeem you from the business prospects that your enemies are going to set up.
God.
So I'm going to read this again. It says when he loaded, now it says from here, in the name of the Blessed Trinity, remember they brought that Trinity Christianity religion to our people. We didn't know that from the scriptures. We knew the law of Moses. Okay? It says we can send all the slaves, that's your bondmen and bondwomen, that can be sold. When he loaded 1,100 Taino men, so you have the Arawak, you have the Taino, right? A lot of you Puerto Ricans swear about the Taino heritage and about Igbo heritage. That goes into you too. Y'all the tribe of Ephraim. Okay? It says when he loaded 1,100 Taino men and women aboard 4 Spanish ships, the crowding and the stormy Atlantic crossing took a fearful toll. Okay? The scripture says in I believe in Jeremiah, it says that ye shall be tossed like a ball through the sea into the 4 corners of the earth. Talking about the slave trade. Okay? Being in them ships was tight. You know? It's more history than just going into the so-called West Africans, which are the Israelites, being sold over here to America. You had our Native American brothers and sisters too. Okay? It says only 300 survived, but Columbus and Spain had decided to continue the profitable slave trade from the Americas.
From
Seville became the slave capital of Spain.
man,
Okay.
that's heavy.
All right. I'm gonna read. Now I'm gonna read. I gotta keep reading. Okay. All right. So it wasn't just from West Africa to America. It's from America to the other side of the world too.
That's right.
It says Spanish priests were the first to denounce the horrors of bondage. Okay, you talk about bondage, the house of bondage. It's talking about America, man.
Yep.
In 1511, Dominican friar Montesinos called slavery a mortal sin and said cruelty and tyranny over Indians could not be justified by Christians. That's that fierce nation coming against you. Deuteronomy 28. It says, a few years later, Bishop Las Casas, who had witnessed countless Indian massacres by his fellow Spaniards, blamed greed for the horrors. They killed them Indians because they want to be rich and have much gold, which is their sole aim. Okay? Because remember, I read in the history, King Solomon sent the navy out to this side of the world to get gold, silver, apes, peacocks.
Yep.
Okay? That's where you get El Dorado from. City of Gold. It says, Las Casas concluded that in the New World, Spaniards had become devils and Indians were the only true Christians. Las Casas led a determined effort to halt Indian bondage, which you could have been an Israelite that was, indoctrinated. It says he pointed out that Indians died off by the thousands from slavery and European diseases. It says forced labor in Spanish mines in the Americas was so harsh that the average worker died before he was 26. And when you go into the book of Lamentations, the 5th chapter, it talks about how, matter of fact, get that real quick, Lamentations 5. Okay? Matter of fact, I'll get it. I'll get it. I'm going to go into Lamentations 5 real quick. Because it talks about, I believe, the grinders. It's out there in the grind. This is Lamentations chapter 5 and 11. It says, they ravish the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. Princes are hanged up by their hand. The faces of the elders were not honored. Because our people, like, you got that song, Strange Fruit, going into the hangings of African Americans where they hung. You go into that book, Without Sanctuary. It goes into the hangings of Israelites, Mexicans, right, African Americans, okay, were being hanged up. It says they took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood, because they were taking our people in the mines and stuff, having them hack down trees, set up mines.
Right.
Okay, they were hanging them up, persecuting them. Okay, they happened to the princes of Zion. Okay, and the women of Zion. So here it says, the strongest. It says, to meet their need for more laborers, Europeans looked next to Africa. All right, West Africa, and the Apostle has been going heavy into the fact that the West Africans, the Igbo, the Nigerians, and other people there, Liberians, they are Israelites. Okay, it says the strongest sons and daughters of Africa were seized in their homes or fields, or purchased from local traders. That's Ham. Ham was trading us, the Israelites, to the so-called white man, the Europeans.
That's right.
The slave trade.
Hey, could I get a quick precept for you just to back you up on that? This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head?
That's right, because the Lord's going to bring us back together. Okay? So our people were sold to them for wine and muskets, gunpowder and gold and silver. It says, it says they were packed in the cargo ships and shipped across the Atlantic. Okay? So this happened. So once they could do all they could do with the Native Americans, they went to get the Southern Kingdom from Africa. Now this is on page 28. It says, the first Africans brought to the New World by European slavers probably arrived in April 1502 aboard the ship that brought the new governor of Hispaniola, because Esau took over, which was Nicolas del Vando. Soon after they landed, some Africans escaped to the woods and found a new home among the Native Americans. Because the tribes, they were the tribes, man. The Israelites were coming together with it. Because our people in West Africa and Europe, they knew that they had empires over here. The Israelites had empires over here. All right? And the brothers can never get their book, The Medieval Empire of the Israelites. Okay? That goes in that history. When the Southern Kingdom, a lot of them was ruling in Europe. It's where you get King James and all the monarchs were so-called blacks. So the coat of arms, you see that the history and the knights on them were black. They knew that the other Israelites were over here because they knew the history. They came to this other land. Okay? Because of what happened with King Solomon. Okay? And waiting for King Solomon to come back.
That's right.
Because he had us in peace and unity. All right? Malak Shalomah. Okay? A.K.A. Yahushua. So, it says here now, it says, later that year, Governor Ovando sent a request to King Ferdinand that no more Africans be sent to the Americas. His reason was simple. They fled amongst the Indians and taught them bad customs and never could be captured because they were making them out of warriors, man. They were raising them up back as warriors and said, look, this is what you do. That's your name. Hey, man, we got a history amongst each other that Esau can't break.
That's right.
That's why you Native Americans, y'all got to wake up, man.
Y'all got to wake
right.
up, man.
Okay? It says, why did he feel they could never be retaken? Had the two peoples united as a military force at this early date? Were Native Americans prepared to drive off European slave hunters? Was an alliance taking shape in the woods between two peoples or two kingdoms who opposed the Spanish conquerors? The answers to these questions are unclear. Well, we're giving you the answers now. The time period for our people to unite the Southern and Northern Kingdom is now. Okay? The Native Americans, the Seminole Indians, reuniting with the so-called African Americans, West Indians, coming back together, Northern and Southern Kingdom. Okay, them two sticks in Ezekiel 37. That's why we have the 12 tribe sign out there. So we can unify as a spiritual military force, first and foremost, okay, to take down our conquerors, man. Okay? And our Savior, Yahweh Shah, our King, okay, aka King Solomon, is going to reunite the kingdom once again.
That's right.
Okay? So that was it on this book. Okay? I'm not going to be too much longer.
And if I can make a point real quick while you find what you are finding.
Good.
The brother, the priest made mention on how when they were shipping certain individuals over to America, they were actually loading others back to the other side of the world. Well, when you look at American, buy, selling, and trading, it's the same thing. You know, hey, for instance, I used to work at a factory where you deliver packages. So when you along the route, the driver would make the deliveries, but they also had pickups. You know,
Right.
they would go, they would drop off packages, and then while they out on their route, they would pick up packages to bring them back to the facility so they could be shipped off to other countries, other states.
Import, export.
Import and export.
Right, you got something called GDP, gross domestic product.
That's right. Wait, when China docks, comes to America and drop off American goods that was purchased from China, you better believe they picking up. They're not making no empty trip.
Ain't no empty ships, man.
What they call it, deadhead. They not deadhead.
Ain't no deadhead. No, they every trip is going to be worth it. And that's what they did with the most precious thing that you can find on the planet Earth. It's the Israelites.
That's right.
The Israelites are the most valuable anything on the planet Earth. The Israelites
secure
are
your treasure.
Yeah, the Israelites, the seed of Israel is even more valuable than the top resource that you can find on the planet Earth. So they had to utilize that to the fullest extent, man. So they wasn't making no blank trip. They wasn't just going back to England
in an empty boat.
Or Africa and in an empty boat. No, they were selling. It was a triangular trade, slave trade.
That's right.
They would pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off. It was a trade.
Which is why this U.S.-China trade war is so devastating, because it ain't going like it used to go. It ain't flowing because of the tariffs, the sanctions, and all of that. Man, that's why this global economy is getting ready to explode, man. All right, but I got this. This is from, and this is an article. I'm going to make a quick point. This is myjewishlearning.com. And it's titled Native Americans and Jews, the Lost Tribes episode. All right, now we read this history. It says, in the 18th century BCE, the Assyrians dispersed the kingdom of Israel, giving life and legend to the lost tribes. The repatriation of these lost tribes eventually became an integral part of the Jewish and Christian messianic dream, and there have been lost tribe speculations about numerous discovered populations. Okay? One of the most fascinating and unfortunately forgotten such discussions centered on the Native Americans, right? Because they're Israelites. Now it says this, a theory is born. It says one of the first books to suggest the Native American lost tribe theory or fact was written by a Jew, the Dutch rabbi, scholar, and diplomat Manasseh ben Israel. Because these so-called Jews, they were behind the Atlantic slave trade. They knew the history. Christopher Columbus, he read the Apocrypha. He read 2 Edges 13, the same chapter we read earlier about the other tribes coming over here. So they knew who was over here. That's why they brought the Hebrew interpreter. Okay? Because we were the Hebrew Israelites over here. All right? It says, in the Hope of Israel, which was written in 1650, Ben Israel suggested that the discovery of the Native Americans, a surviving remnant of the Assyrian exile, was a sign heralding the Messianic era. So that's what we read. They came over. They didn't come to no Bering Strait land bridge over, and then Asians and the Orientals. Nah, they're the Israelites, and they came through the Euphrates, around the Horn of Africa, all the way to this side of the world. Okay, to the Western world, what's known as the New World. Okay, Okay. It says here, let's see here. It says a curious incident that drew considerable attention and proved, at least to some, that Native Americans had ancient Israelite origins unfolded when Teflon or phylacteries were discovered in Pittsfield, Massachusetts in the early 19th century. Their discoverer wrote that this forms another link in the evidence by which our Indians are identified with the ancient Jews, who were scattered upon the face of the globe and to this day remain a living monument to verify and establish the eternal truths of Scripture. So these scholars, these ancient men of study, archaeologists, they know who the Israelites are, and they know you Native Americans are the Israelites because all your relics point to the law of Moses and other customs. Mm-hmm. James Adair wrote about you in his book. Okay, this book, which is called the Hope of Israel, which was written in 1650. They weren't thinking that truth would come out because in 1650 you were in slavery. Matter of fact, we read about the 17th century, how you was going into slavery on slave ships.
Yep.
That's 1600s.
That's
That's when the book was written.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth of Scripture's coming out now. This is why we're, beseeching you to wake up, okay, and get your true heritage and your hidden heritage of what these Edomites, these so-called white people, don't tell you, okay. Mm-hmm. And that was it on that article. I want to bring out one more point. Right now, this is a book, okay. This book here, which is called The Great Chiefs. Right now, this is from Time Life Books. All right, The Great Chiefs. Okay, and you can see the Native American on the front on the horse, and he has the fringes.
Yep.
Right. So I'm just gonna get like 2 or 3 images. Right? Can you get Numbers 15 and 38? Baruch Shah.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll yeah. Yeah, this is one of them here. And then I gotta get my man, the prophet. I gotta bring him out.
Do that.
I'm bringing it out. Psalm 37.
This is Numbers 15 and 37. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in their borders of their garments throughout the generations, and that they put upon the fringes the borders a ribbon of blue. Mm-hmm. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, and ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord power and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring.
Right. So the law of what we should put in our garments, being an Israelite, was to put fringes in the border of blue. Okay, you got the fringes, the border of blue on our garment because we're Israelites. But the same thing was in the law, and the same thing that the Native Americans did when they came over here, which is why, like we read in 2 Corinthians 13, it says that when they came to another land away from the heathen, that they shall follow their own laws, statutes, and customs. Right. Right. So I got this image. This is on page 132 and page 133. Now this is a painting. It says, jubilant at the arrival of summer in her highland domain, a bare-breasted Shoshone maid swings from a branch as a demure friend looks on, and she's wearing the fringes, and they have borders of blue. And it says, savoring a moment of solitude at the edge of camp. Okay? A warrior smokes his pipe, the great solace of his leisure hours, said artist Miller. So now when you look at this image, right? Let me get this image. Okay, if you can see, all right, on the image, he has the fringes, right? And right in between the red, you can see the borders of blue, right? Around the red, and you can see the fringes at the bottom. Because that was a custom, all right? That was a custom of being an Israelite. Even on the image here, the woman is wearing fringes, okay? Now, I'm going to go to another image, all right? That was the one I showed you earlier. Is it this one? Well,
it's marked up top.
yeah, but it was the warriors. I don't know if I got the warrior painting. But all throughout this book, you have paintings and photographs of the Native American Indians, which are the tribe of Gad. Right?
Gun,
Yep.
gun right there.
Now this is a battle. This is on page 224. It says the capture and death of Sitting Bull. All right, the capture and death of Sitting Bull.
Yep.
On page 224. That's one of my favorite chiefs too. He was a real warrior, man. Okay, he died like a man.
Yes, Sitting Bull.
Gun.
Unlike the Native Americans today. This is why you got to man up.
Yeah,
You got to be like Sitting Bull.
If I could say, all these Gadites, except for a few of the brothers that's in the camps, all they want to do is set up powwows, fucking get fucking drunk, and play the flute.
And talk about how
And talk
good it
about,
was.
Yeah, talk about, their traditions and their customs.
Right.
Listen, man, we all got the same customs and traditions, man.
That's right.
We all used to wear the same regalia. We all used to do the same things. So for you try to, differentiate yourself from the rest of the tribes, bro, that's really a subculture that y'all was embracing in America, man.
Right.
Your true robust culture was an Israelite, man.
That's right.
All that flute music, y'all the soldiers. The hell, the soldiers of the tribe sitting around playing flute music, depressed,
Right.
getting drunk. Y'all gotta get your gears rolling.
That's right, man. That's right. That's right. Now I'm gonna show you this image. Now remember we read the scripture, a troop shall overcome, right? So this is an image of a troop overcoming, right? You see the cavalry. But if you look at the Native Americans, right, in particular here, you can see the border of blue and you can see the fringes. Okay? So all right, let me ask you this. Is this a Lakota warrior or is this a Gadite?
That's heavy, man.
Okay?
Woo!
Is this according to the custom that we read in the book of Numbers, is this a Sioux warrior or a Chippewa warrior, okay, or a Blackfoot warrior, or is this a Gadite from the nation of Israel?
That's right.
You tell me, okay? Because from what I see, and this is a painting from what Edomites painted. This is what they saw, and this is a troop. You see the troops in the blue overcoming who? Who they fighting against? They're fighting against the tribe of Gad. That's who you Native Americans are.
That's right.
All right, you're Israelites.
That's right.
Okay.
Tribe of Gad.
You can see this guy here. He's wounded. Right, this warrior's wounded. Okay, but guess what? You see the ribbon of blue.
Yep.
And you see the fringes.
Yep.
So who does that? Is that talking about the Chinese, the Moabites? Or is it talking about the nation of Israel? Okay, according to the history and the prophecy of what was written in Genesis 49 by our forefather. What was going to happen in the last days.
And all of them got that ribbon of blue on.
Okay.
Even the horse.
Yep.
All right.
The horse, they got the ribbon of blue right there on the horse.
All right, look at the horse.
They got the horse with the ribbon of blue and the fringes right there.
Yep.
Even the horse is wearing ribbon of blue and fringes. Because that's our customs, man. Okay? So this ain't talking about no powwow Indians, man. Talking about the tribe of Gad.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay? Warriors.
That's right.
Gun.
So get out that drunken liquor ass state, man.
Yeah,
and
man.
wake up.
That dormant ass mindset, man.
Okay.
We need you, man. Just as the other tribes needed the tribe of Judah to wake up. Hey, the tribe of Judah handled their business, man.
That's right.
That's right.
They stepped out there on the battlefield, without no security, without no type of physical guns and artillery, and they started waking us up, man. They start playing their part in the prophecy, man. Like, well, what about you Gadites, man? All right. Now, like I said, you do have certain brothers in the camps that's of the tribe of Gad, but on the whole, man, the tribe of Gad should be infuriated right now, man. They should be infuriated on what's going on in their homeland, so to speak, man. But yet they just want to do powwows around the goddamn country and go to and set up casinos and get goddamn drunk.
And sell goddamn fry bread and hot dogs.
Right, and look down on niggas.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing the tribe of Gad do. They look down on niggas. Well, if it wasn't for the southern kingdom, the tribe of Judah, we wouldn't be where we at today.
That's right.
Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, man. You notice that was the three main tribes that woke up in the early 90s and in the 80s and the 2000s, man. It was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
And that was prophecy anyway. The tents of Judah, all right, shall be saved first. But guess what? Now it's time for the northern kingdom to wake up. Now I'm gonna show you this, right? Now these are garments that the Native Americans wore. Okay? And you can see the fringes and the borders of blue. Right? Let me see. Right now, if you look here on this particular garment, around the sleeve, there's a border of blue. And then the fringes are coming off of it. All right? There's another garment, right?
Let me shine some light on you.
Yeah, come, Baba Kushai. Okay, there we go. All right? And now you can see, I'll pull it back just a little bit.
Yep.
Up,
See
up
blue
some.
right there, yep.
Right?
Yep, that's good, yep.
Yeah, right here. Now, this is like a garment that brother wear, right? In the camps. And, a brother would make a garment, and they'll put the fringes around the opening in the hole, and they'll put it on like a poncho.
Hey, well, the brother,
and then around this.
The brother right here, garment is like that around the neck.
Oh, yeah, come. This brother's garment.
This
brother got the same thing on his garment. Okay? He got fringes around the neck hole, and he got a border of blue.
Yep.
And then the fringes are, these are like brothers in our Great Millstone camps. Okay?
That's right.
And these are garments, man. Because guess what? We're Israelites.
You see the fashion on that one? Well, Jake, they curved it up on the fringes. Yeah.
It look nice, right?
Yeah.
The brother might want to make some garments that look like, the ones in this book. So now you got some garment inspirations.
Yeah.
All right. So you gotta get your swag on, your Israelite swag on. Okay. Now that was it on that.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm gonna bring out this last point. Let's see if I can get my man. There you go. Right. Look at this guy like warrior here. Right. This is kicking bear.
Whoo.
Okay, kicking bear. Look at this warrior here. Kicking bear.
Joke.
Yeah.
Here's how I get. Now you say, Gad, was that his stern look? This is him right here.
He's not about to play around with you back in the day, man. Where's these Gadites at, man?
Right.
Some ass, ain't it?
Right.
Drunk.
Somewhere drunk.
You gotta wake up. Hey, cause it's 12,000 plus Gadites that's predestined for salvation, man.
Now I'm gonna read this about kicking bear. It says, kicking bear, a Sioux apostle of the ghost dance religion. Okay, because remember the scripture says is they sat in the seat of the lawgiver, so they had like a very shaman-like spiritual spirit about them as well as being warriors. Okay, but listen to what he said. Okay, he says he ignored its original stricture against violence and hinted that believers could help to bring about one of its prophecies. The disappearance of the white man. And that's what Gad was prophesying about. The disappearance of the white man. The disappearance of Esau. All right, the disappearance of Edom. This is the spirit that y'all got to get in, man. Okay? You got to get in the spirit of these ancient... I'm talking to you Native Americans. All right, you Seminole Indians, and the rest of you Northern Kingdom tribes. And this should inspire the southern kingdom too. Okay, the scripture says that he shall overcome at the last.
Kind.
All right. Now I want to get one more scripture.
Kind.
Give me where it said Judah and Israel it's gonna be like a flame and a fire. Was that Obadiah 1 and 18?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Obadiah 1:18.
Kind.
Okay.
This is Obadiah 1 and 18. It says, and the house of Judah shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame.
Right. So that goes into the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You so-called blacks, West Indians, Haitians being the southern kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And then the house of Joseph, which goes into Gad, Reuben, Issachar, the Hispanics and Native American tribes
Kind.
coming together like a fire and a flame. Because
Kind.
a fire is a flame.
Kind. That's right.
Okay? All right?
It says-
and what the scripture says that the Heavenly Father makes his ministers as a flame of fire.
Mm.
Okay? All right? Go ahead, Art.
It says, and the house of Esau for stubble.
And the house of Esau going to be stubble. The disappearance of the white man.
Kind.
Go ahead.
And
The quiet man.
The white man.
Quiet.
The Hebrew, because the white man is a Hebrew.
Right.
The Hebrew Edomite.
Hebrew Edomites.
Okay, the Hebrew Israelites is going to take down the Hebrew Edomites. All right?
Kind.
Okay? The red Hebrew Edomites. So Esau wants to go into color so much. These
Right.
red Hebrew Edomites are going to be taken down by the Hebrew Israelites.
Right, because you're not
Okay.
white.
You're not white.
Right.
Okay?
It says, and the house of Esau for stubble,
Go ahead.
and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remainings of the house of Esau.
There should not be any remaining.
Any.
Not a couple's going to deny their father and a couple of white people are good. No, there should not be any remaining of the house of. If you are a so-called white man, woman, and your line goes back to Esau, you ain't gonna remain.
Bring it out.
Ain't no
Cut.
remainder.
Cut.
Ain't no elect to Esau.
That's music
Cut.
to our ears.
Okay?
Cut.
Ain't
Yes,
no
sir.
elect to Esau. The elect to Esau are ruling now. But guess what? There's not going to be any remaining
Cut.
of you,
Cut.
according to Bible prophecy.
That's
Cut.
right.
That's,
All right,
that's
like
right.
like
Cut.
my man, what was his name? Kicking Bear said.
Kicking
Okay,
Bear.
the disappearance of the white
Oh,
man.
the white man.
Okay.
Be quiet.
The white.
Man.
Okay.
He gotta go,
He
man.
got
The
to go.
white man. Go ahead.
And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it.
And that's all. Hey, for the Lord has spoken it. Okay. So give me Romans 13 and 11.
Kind.
We're gonna end it on that.
Kind.
All right. So guess what? Esau's time is up.
Yes,
But
sir.
guess what? You Native Americans and the Indians, y'all gotta wake up, man, to who you are.
Kind.
Okay? The history's there. The
Kind.
accounts are there, the reports are there, the images, the paintings. Okay? The brother brought out that they're trying to wipe you out from the census.
Yep.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Don't even
But
count.
guess what? There's hope.
Mhm.
Okay? There's hope. Because you're an
Right.
Israelite. Go ahead.
Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time
Right,
to...
and that knowing the time,
Mm-hmm.
what's the time? The time of the end
Mm-hmm.
of this society, man. This is what this devil.
Kind.
He's so-called white man is his devilish ways are not. Man, you got Angela Merkel shaking.
Kind.
I know what I'm saying, man. She can't get on TV without shaking. But here the Esau made all them jokes about Muhammad Ali,
Mm-hmm.
how they shut him up.
Yeah.
But Angela Merkel can't goddamn get on a TV without doing the Harlem Shake
Right.
or the Millie Rock. Millie rocking all over TV, man. Okay?
Rocking up, son.
Guess what? You Edomites are through. It's over.
Bring it out.
All right? The nation of Israel is waking up and rising up.
Kind.
All right?
Kind.
So go ahead, out.
It says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we than when we believe.
That's right. Our salvation is nearer than when we believe. So now we're in that time. That's why this truth is coming out. Right? Like I read in the article, great scriptural truths about the fact that the Native Americans are Israelites of the ancient Jews. Okay? You know? So Lord willing, you know, this lesson was, you know, edifying and fired your spirit up and build up.
Uplifting,
You know, it uplifted you going through the history,
Let's
going
go,
through the
Gad.
chronicle. You know the kings, okay, the prophecies,
The pictures.
you know, your own chiefs, your warriors, the images,
Yep.
okay, and the
Right.
fact that guess what, you're gonna overcome this white man.
That's right.
All right, at the last, when we're at the
That's right.
last.
That's right.
That's
Okay. So with that, we give all praises, glory, and honors to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone.
Kind.
And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Wake up, you Native Americans, Seminole Indians. Okay, because the time is now. Kwame Yasharala.
Kwame Yashala. Shalom.
Shalom. All right, Shalom to all the Akim on the coming board as well.
Kind.
Putting scriptures, you know.
Shalom.
Kind.
Shalom, shalom. All right, I'll check them out later. All right, shalom.